Hey there, are you struggling to keep a positive mindset? Well, stop the scroll and take a listen for a few minutes because we are going to talk about how using Scrum or any type of a structure in your business can improve your mindset. Hi, I'm Cheryl Texera. For those of you who don't know me, I am a certified project manager and I'm certified in Scrum as well. And I love Scrum. It's a framework that you can use to manage all the projects in your business. And so I wanted to talk today about how having some sort of a structure for implementation can make a big difference in your mindset. If you went into a job and let's say it's your first day of a job, you have a brand new job, you go into the office and you meet with your supervisor, and that supervisor, okay, go get to work. Your first response would be, what am I supposed to do? Where do I sit? Who are my teammates? What's the basic structure of how we implement and how we do work around here? What's my job description? What are my responsibilities? What is my part in the mission of this company? And so, what you expect when you walk into a business is that, as an employee, is that they would have structure already framed out for you. You'll have a certain way work flows through your organization. You'll have work comes to you and how you output your work, where you store it, all those things, right? Even how you implement your projects and your work. A lot of teams and a lot of companies have adapted the framework of Scrum because it's such a lightweight, easy type of a framework to understand and utilize. And there are a lot of tools out there now that support that Scrum framework, including Trello and Jira and Monday.com, that you can use to create that structure. But the structure is such an important piece of your solopreneur business. And the reason why is because that structure gives you that safety net, right? The place to lean on when times get bad and when your mind is, doing all those things that our stupid brains do to us when we're having self-doubt, fear, concerns over our productivity and implementation skills and those kinds of things. And so structure is a really important piece because now you have a solid framework that you can lean on. So when times get bad, you start from the basics. Okay, how do we implement? And if you already use Scrum, the first thing you would do is go back to sprint planning. You'd look at your sprint, you plan or update your Kanban board and get yourself back centered and back into your work and what you're doing. But more importantly, Scrum has this awesome continuous improvement cycle. And if you look at the way Scrum works, let me see if I can explode this picture for you. Okay, here it is. I'm going to just share my screen for a quick sec. So I want you to see this because I think it's super important for understanding how the whole Scrum system works before you even get into the detail of Scrum itself. So Scrum works on this cyclical basis. So you first look at identifying an opportunity, which you may already have done. You have some sort of an idea of what it is you want to implement, what it is you want to create for your perfect people. And you really understand that desired outcome. So you identify that opportunity, you understand that desired outcome, and then you look at all the different possible solutions that you can do. And then the big key here is you build only part of it. You build the bare minimum that you're going to need in order to make this thing actually happen. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want to do what we call proving your offer can convert, right? And when you build part of it, you can get it out there faster than if you try to build the whole entire thing. And by the time you get it all done, the requirements have changed, people have changed, or you just keep going down this rabbit hole of adding more, adding more, adding more to your solution, adding more, adding more, right? And we all can get into that. And sometimes it's not a bad thing, but sometimes it can be an implementation killer because you just stay stuck in that perfectionism place where you just can't get out of it. You're always trying to worry about whether it's perfect. You're always afraid to deploy it, afraid to get it out there because it may not be perfect. And I'm here to tell you, nobody's perfect. Look at Facebook. They deploy code. The whole system's broken in many different places for a long period of time. The actual principle is called the good enough principle. And that's really what often IT shops take, is that good enough principle. So you build at least part of it, your whole system that you're going to build or your whole solution that you're planning on building. And then you get it out there and you start measuring it. And here's where this piece to me is the best part of the whole Scrum cycle, is not only do you build part of it, but you deploy and measure. You measure. So you start gathering data, you get feedback from your users, you measure, and now it becomes a scientific thing. And when it becomes scientific, then there's really no room for all that self-doubt. You become a problem-solving machine when you get into that measurement and more of a scientific approach to building out your business. And as you can see here, it just continues in a cycle. This cycle is what's going to keep you out of perfectionism paralysis. And you're going to touch that thing again. So it sort of relieves you from it's got to be perfect because it's going to be out there forever. Well, no, it's not. You're going to have some sort of a review process so that you can keep reviewing it and improving on it. And then when you repeat the cycle, that's when you start adding features and you add new things. Now, I'm going to stop sharing for a minute because I want to talk about the iPhone, because I'm always talking about the iPhone as a great example of how Scrum works. Because when they came out with their iPhone 1, which now they're on like iPhone 13, when they came out with that iPhone 1, it didn't have a camera, it didn't have flash. Their main objective was to get a nice screen, the first smartphone, right? Have a virtual keyboard so people could text on that keyboard instead of using, remember the old flip phones that had, you had to do like A, if you wanted to type A, you had to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times or whatever, and to get a B and to get a C, and that's how you texted, right? Well, so for most of us, that wasn't even something we were going to do, right? We didn't want to do that. We wanted a real keyboard. And so that was their main objective, was to make sure that, one, it could make and receive phone calls, and you could text, because texting was really becoming a thing at the time. And of course they wanted their camera and everything, but they just decided that it wasn't the right time. Their camera wasn't ready. They didn't quite have the technology together, whatever the reason. I don't really know, but they just didn't do it. I saw him making a speech once, and he was talking about how they didn't have flash and they didn't have the camera for their first one. But that's the beauty of it, because your business is like the iPhone 1. You're going to put it out there, the bare minimum, get that thing out there, start getting that feedback, and then start adding features and adding things to it and making it better, improving on it. Now it's the iPhone 2, the iPhone 3, the iPhone 4, and on and on and on, until 10 years from now, you are at this awesome product like they have with their iPhone. Now they're on the iPhone 13. It just keeps getting better and better and better. And so remember that when you're going with your business, because just because you're in year 1 or year 2 of your business doesn't mean you're going to look the same as you do in year 10 or 12 or 15 of your business. You're going to evolve and change. And that's where Scrum makes it really nice, because it has that whole principle of cyclically working on things with releases, adding features, using measurements, not emotions, measurements, not emotions. I'm going to say it again, to guide you so that you can make the best products, so that you can get the best outcomes for your people. And so that's how Scrum can really help you improve your mindset, because instead of letting self-doubt, stress, and worry, and all those silly things that we do to ourselves guide you, you're letting science guide you, and this framework that keeps you grounded. It keeps you focused on what is important now. There's all kinds of things. I mean, I could go go on forever about Scrum and all the little things it has in it. Built-in accountability, an amazing way to prioritize, estimating so that you don't overload your sprints, because overloading your sprint, overloading your work week is going to make you have that self-doubt, because you're going to beat yourself up because you didn't make your deadline or whatever. And that deadline could be completely arbitrary. But what it also does is it helps you get into that planning mode so that you think through the whole entire process of your customer's journey, and you walk through what is going to be needed in all those different places. And that's how you can get all those pieces in place. So you don't go create a course, you're all excited, you finish the course, it's beautiful, you love it, you're excited, or it's good enough, whatever way, wherever you're at in that journey. And then you realize you forgot to make a sales page for it. You forgot to make the thank you page. You forgot to write the welcome email so that they could even get access to the course or whatever it is, right? And you don't want to do that. So the sprint planning process is a beauty in the fact that it helps you think things through and plan it out in detail so that you know what you're going to do. You kind of know how long it's going to take, so you don't overload your sprints. You can make sure that you have enough time. If you can't get it all done in one sprint, you then plan out that it's going to take you 2 sprints or 3 sprints or 4 sprints to do all those things. And then you can more easily plan your marketing, plan your days, and be the best in both worlds. Live your life, enjoy your family, be able to walk away from your desk with confidence, knowing that tomorrow you will know exactly what you're going to need to do. Okay, so that is why I believe, well, there's 1,000 reasons why I believe that Scrum is like the best framework to use so that you can fight all those mindset issues. You get that scientific approach and you get that methodology, that framework to lean on. Just like if you had an employer, you would expect that framework to already be in place so that you can meet your potential as an employee, having that great framework. Same thing. It's up to you as a business owner to create that structure for your business, for yourself, for your team. Scrum, in my opinion, is the very best one for solopreneurs to use because it is very lightweight and it can be done with a team of 1 or a team of 10. Your mindset is really important. Staying positive, lean on that framework for yourself and quit, letting your head get in your way. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.